Never thought that I would feel this way. Put it all out on display.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Takes. I am here with Gladys.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun because it was full circle of connections because I'd met Angel Conception, Lukey, just these other people that were in the same circle as you, and I keep seeing you pop up in their feeds with projects, and I kept telling myself, I need to get her on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I kept popping up, and now I'm here, and this is great.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming on. Please introduce yourself, let them know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Gladys. I'm a Philly-based artist. I mean, I'm born and raised here, so from the city. And I make pop R&B music. I perform, do lots of live performances. Definitely try to consider myself as like a vocalist. I really love to, show my talent live. But yeah, that's kind of sums me up for now.
Nice. And shout out to your guitarist as well.
Yeah, shout out Solomon. When y'all watch it, he ate. We killed it.
He killed it.
Yeah.
These are going to turn out really well. I'm excited to see them out. Yeah. But yeah, could you remind me, what are the names of the 3 songs again?
Yeah, the 3 songs that I did were Melody, Feeling Me, and then One You Need.
Melody, Feeling Me, and the One You Need. I think Melody is the one that I'm most familiar with from you because you did a lot of promo and you did a lot of really good promo.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like it didn't feel repetitive. Nothing about it felt corny because it's very easy when you're making reels for your own songs that you feel corny. It looked like you felt very natural in those.
I appreciate that because that's not always how it feels when you're in the process of doing it. I'm glad that, I can fake it till I make it because sometimes, it does get tedious. Mm-hmm. It's especially, when this isn't your first rodeo, like this isn't the first single that I put out. So you're actively just trying to find like, what's like the niche of this song? What's the style? Like what specific audience outside of my own personal supporters can I like market this to and get this out towards? And it takes a lot of brainstorming and just sitting with yourself and timing and consistency. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You said that was your first single that you ever put out?
No. When You Need was my first single that I put out. I put that one out summer of 2024. So I think it was like June. Mm-hmm. And then Feeling Me came, I think, April. I don't know, wait. I think we made the song in April and then it came out June 2025, I believe. I could be wrong, but it was around that time frame, like April to June. And then Melody I put out in October 2025. Okay.
So is this like your whole discography was tonight?
No, so I do have 2 other songs that I put out.
Gotcha.
Those came out, I have Happier and Let This Go. Happier came out, I believe it was like fall 2024. Mm-hmm. And then early in the year 2025. I think that was April. That's what it was. April was Let This Go, and then I think it was July Feeling Me. Yeah. So I have like 5 songs out right now.
Nice.
Yeah. I think that's
And you were giving me a couple clues earlier, like you got another one coming out.
I do have another one coming out. I'm really excited for it.
At the time of recording this, it's not out, but it might be out by the time this is out. So go check it out. There will be links down in the description where you can just go listen to them and then come back and finish the interview.
What he said. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the new song gonna be like? If you can give a little description.
Yeah. So with my last single that I just put out, they had mentioned Melody. Mm-hmm. I have started branching into more of a pop leaning sound. I think when I put out my first single, When You Need, it's definitely R&B, definitely throwback inspired R&B, very, very 2000s feel, which is why, it did get a good amount of success, that particular one. And then my 2 singles that followed that kind of followed that same, vibe and pattern, I should say. But after those, that was my first song that I ever released to the public, When You Need. And even though my music is still gonna like kind of embody like that throwback R&B vibe, I'm not abandoning R&B by any means. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of still in the process of like discovering my sound. And when I put out Melody, that is very pop, like very pop focused, really heavy on the production and like the vocal arrangements and it's very pop music. So then my next single is like kind of like the sister to that one. Really fun, like synth vibes and that type of stuff. Less R&B. So you can expect, if you like melody, then you're gonna like Out of Reach.
I don't think that even like branches that far away from it, because I feel like a lot of R&B artists that I've seen have a lot of these pop or high production influences at the same time. Like it's all intermingled, because you can't appreciate the soul and natural acoustic sounds without the production sides, which are also incredible on their own.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think there's a lot of overlap, and that's kind of my goal with more oncoming releases, just to like bridge that gap even more. You know what I mean? Blend the sounds. Have some songs that sound more pop leaning, have some that go really in on the R&B. But yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
Nice.
100%.
That'll be really cool. I got to make sure I catch that new song when it comes out. What's the name of it?
It's called Out of Reach.
Out of Reach.
Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you.
She's telling you. That's so cool. With the high production side of things, I'm always curious how that translates to a live environment. Did you come up, or do you have like live instrument arrangement versions of it? Do you feel like you lean more towards running with tracks whenever you do songs like that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think that that's something that I'm actually actively in the process of trying to figure out, because I do have a live band that I perform with pretty consistently, and especially with these two tracks that we just discussed, they definitely need a little bit more work put into them in terms of like, how can we adapt this into a live band setting? I think one thing that my drummer Dan, he kind of implemented that I thought was cool is, instead of playing with like, I guess, a traditional kit for some of these songs, like he has like a pad. That's something, like one small element of the instrumentation that I feel like we're trying to like download sounds into that and kind of adapt that into, how that's going to translate into a live performance of like a melody or like Out of Reach. But definitely still trying to like figure that out in the work in progress process of how can we adapt this and make it sound good. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Yeah, I love the transitions. I love the night and day, because there's sometimes where I'll go and see a band live and I've never listened to anything from them. Right. And then I go listen to the album, I'm like, not let down, it's just not what I expected.
It just
when I was
doesn't
like,
sound like it.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't carry over. But I feel like with your style, it's easier to appreciate when there are variations in it almost.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. When it comes to the pop arrangements, those get a little bit more tricky. You know what I mean? Because those tracks are very reliant on like studio production.
Right.
So I think in the future, like when we have the platform and like the funding to do these type of things, those are definitely tracks that you're going to hear incorporated with the live band. You know what I mean? You have tracks that are like designed for a live performance, and that's the end goal. And that's when I get to that point, that'll be super cool and feel super, refreshing and awesome to be able to,
Yeah. And stuff like that is way easier even than you think. But you're right. The funding is the unfortunate holdback for
we low budget
everyone.
over here.
We all make it work.
Yeah, just to come up, y'all.
With the whole pop R&B, did you have specific influences growing up that you feel like kind of pushed you into that? Because I feel a lot of the artists that I've talked to, they didn't even start with the music that they're doing now. That's not even their main influence that they had.
Yeah, I feel like I've been influenced by so many types of music, but I've been influenced by like the 2000s R&B sounds growing up. I just like I listened to outside of like gospel music and I don't know, like a couple other artists, a lot of like Latin music as well. But like my mom, she loves like that era, like Destiny's Child, Brandy, Lauryn Hill. So that was music that I always listened to growing up, and I loved it. And also like Cheetah Girls and stuff like that. It was my favorite. I always wanted to be a Cheetah Girl. So that is like the very direct inspiration, but I really draw inspiration from like all types of music. I'm not limited to one thing. Like I you can catch me listening to anything.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
I think that makes a well-rounded artist in general, because I've said it before. You never see artists that are top tier that are limiting themselves in their sound or their influences.
Of course, they learn from the best from like all avenues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they pull
Inspiration can come from anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not even from just music too. From
Facts.
everything.
Facts.
You can get from everything.
I love concept albums and creativity. I've said it, I'm saying a lot of things again, but I've said it before. There was this one guy, Carter Fox, who talked about how for some of his projects, he has one called Cosmic Sunrise, and he said that when they came up with that, he was like, all right, just imagining being on an alien planet, come out drinking space coffee, looking at like a random sunrise on a planet that doesn't make any sense. What's running through my mind? And that was the concept for the song.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's something that, like, I don't have any albums out right now. You know, I'm still working on music and to get into a point where I can put something together that I feel confident enough to be an album. But I admire artists who can venture into, you know, creating an album in that fashion. And that's kind of what I aspire to. And I do want to, you know, outside of being a vocalist and trying to better myself vocally, because that's where like my passion really stems from, like just singing, you know, and like live performance, trying to, you know, grow and adapt the music that I am putting out, like my original works, into something like more grand like that. I love that. It's very thoughtful, you know, it's very intentional, and that's what I strive to have and be in the future. Yeah.
Something I always like to ask singers, especially singers who front with a band, when it comes to writing the songs, how do you approach it? Are you an instrumentalist? How does just writing the songs work leading as a vocalist rather than playing something for others to build off of?
Yeah, I'm not an instrumentalist. I am like just vocally skilled.
Yes,
and,
very. That is evident.
But typically the way that I write my music for a song to be produced is I'll like get the beat first, or like a bass beat. And then I'll kind of like build off of that. You know, you come up with like melodies and I'm not like a lyrics first kind of person. I usually like mumble over my tracks and try to figure out, like, does this sound good? Does that sound good? And then usually the lyrics like come to me from that. I think about like the vibe of the song, you know, what am I thinking about right now? Like, what emotions is this evoking for me? And then the lyrics start to come from there. And then like with the last 3 going on 4 songs that I'm putting out, I do work with Lukey, who is
shout out
on
to
here.
that guy.
Shout out Lukey. And that process is pretty, we're working together closely because he is just amazing on production front. So he usually understands the vibe that I'm going for, even though I don't have like the skill level within the instrumentation to make it come to life, but he understands what I'm going for in general. And, you know, I can tell him certain things that I want the song to have, and I'm like, oh, I have this idea, and like try to explain it in the best vocabulary that I have, and go from there. And typically when I send him like lyrics or show him like, oh, this is what I came up with for this beat that you sent me or whatnot, he does an excellent job of like building the production after the vocals are added, and kind of adding production that complements what I'm coming up with vocally, and then we kind of just go back and forth, and that's how the song's made by the end of it. Cool. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I like the idea of the melody, coming up with the melody even without the words, because having that flow, cadence, and rhythm, I feel like it's almost harder to force that in without it already existing. Yeah,
no, for me and my experience of making music, it's a little bit more difficult for me to do it like that, the way that you just described. But I am interested in trying to like exercise my skills and figure out different ways to write, especially because I love to write outside of writing music. I just love to write. I like to write stories, like, and that's a more personal thing. That's not something that I really put out there. It's just for myself. So I like to write stories and journal, and it feels good when like you can make something that like, oh, this has like a way of, with words, you know, like, oh, like I wrote this nicely. And starting out with like an idea and concept prior to maybe having the instrumentation is cool. I feel like I would like to kind of venture into that and try making songs different in a way that I haven't made it previously. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hearing all of those ideas and like how you even want to evolve and just get better is I don't know. It's really cool hearing that from artists, especially when they're good, but they still recognize like I'm in my early stages. I can still grow so much.
110%. There's like so much room for growth. Never a time where there isn't time to learn something new. So yeah.
Well, keep up with her growth. Like I said, we're going to have links down below, but please let them know where they can keep up with you as well.
Oh, Instagram is my main platform. TikTok is also like another main platform. You can follow me at I Dream of Gladys. I Dream of Gladys. And follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever streaming platform you have, I'm on there. So check me out.
GLADYS, thank you again for coming on. Thank you, Solomon, for coming on. I think he just woke up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. If you have any questions for her, please put them down there. I will try and get them to her and she can get back to you. Be sure to subscribe. We've got a lot more fantastic artists coming this year. Can't wait to see who gets to come on next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.
Give you my whole world, baby boy.